comments, remember your mute and unmute. And I'm going to mute myself.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. For you, those of you who may not know me, I'm Mike Stepp, and I will be the district governor beginning July 1st. I'd like to welcome everyone to our District 6490 PETS training, and we're calling this our President Effectiveness Training Seminar. I stole that off of Cindy Guthrie, by the way. This is similar to what we would have been doing in Effingham in March. I have taken the 4 sessions that we were going to do in March and broken them out, 2 today and then 2 next week. Again, I truly want to thank you all for taking out a portion of your Saturday to be with us and participate in this training. It is truly greatly appreciated, and I'm sure you'll be getting some information out of these sessions today and again next Saturday that'll help you in your year as president of your club. Again, like I said, our original intent was to do this training face-to-face in Effingham in March. Because of some of the unprecedented times that we've been in, we were unable to do that face-to-face. And so we're doing this here in a virtual fashion. We went ahead and had our assembly on May the 2nd, and that was really training for all of the incoming officers. And today's training is primarily focused at the president-elects. And we're kind of doing this backwards. And I know I talked to Bree a little bit yesterday, and it was, yeah, we should have been doing this back in March, and then you would have been on board, and then in May we would have brought all the club officers in. So we're kind of doing a little bit backwards, but we'll get there, and we'll get you all prepared for your upcoming year. And as Jane was saying, I think there's like 23 or 24 president-elects. That includes our satellite club. Liz is on with us today. And I believe we have like 3 or 4 Rotaractors, 3 Rotaractors with us today as well. And so we welcome them to our training session. I do want to mention to everybody that today's training session is being recorded. And so all this information will eventually be placed on our website. So you can go back and review this training at your leisure if you want. And for those PEs and others who were not available to attend today, and I know there's some that had other commitments, they'll be able to participate in this training virtually through the recording on the website. So just be aware that you are being recorded. For the PEs, I think I mentioned earlier that I made a trip around the district this past week. I spent 3 days driving around. Tuesday was in the southern part of the district, Wednesday was in the central part of the district, and yesterday was in the northern part of the district. I'll just mention that that was 1,185 miles of travel in 3 days. 12 hours of travel yesterday, but it was very enjoyable to get around and see everyone. I hope you were able to receive the package that I had either left at your house or with your with somebody at your office or your house or yourself. So hopefully everybody got that. With that, I was going to mention we do have the district governor line on the call today. Just thought I'd mention that. We have our current district governor, Julie Dobsky. She's waving at us there. We have our district governor nominee, who will be district governor-elect on July 1st, Heather Stoa, waving at us from Decatur, Illinois. And then our district governor nominee designate, who will be district governor nominee on July 1st, and that's Connie Walsh, waving at us from Champaign. So we have the entire district governor line with us today. With that, we'll go ahead and get started with our presentation. So today we're doing two presentations. We're doing lead Rotary, and I have Bev Saltweedle doing that presentation for us. And then after her, we'll do Grow Rotary, and Stacy Jolly will be doing that presentation for us. So we'll start with Bev. Bev is the current president of the Effingham Club, the Noon Club. Has been in Rotary since 1993. She will be our district training chair starting July 1st. She is looking for help on her training committee. So if anybody knows of somebody that has some passion around training, you're welcome to contact Bev and talk to her about that. So at this time, Bev, I'll turn the training session over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our President Effectiveness Training. I'll first introduce myself. As Mike said, I've been a Rotarian since 1993, and this is my second term as president of my club. And it's been an unusual year, I think, for everyone. So I want to congratulate everybody that's here on taking on the challenge of being your club president. This will be an awesome experience for you. But I have to say, this past year as my Rotary Club president, it started out as a very fun year. We were celebrating our 100-year anniversary, and many of us were tied up with the planning of that event for the 2019-2020 year. And excitement was in the air. Many of us were just planning, and we did a couple fundraisers, and we just had the bull by the horn, and we were going to make it happen. Well, we did. Our banquet was in February, and it was a magnificent banquet. We had the international president there, and an international board member was there. District Governor Julie was there, and we were just really feeling pretty good about all of that. And we had events for service planned throughout the year, and we were just really feeling good, except enter COVID-19. And everything came to a screeching halt, as it did for many of you. So these last 3 months have been very challenging for all of us, from the district governor to our club leaders. We have had to learn to do things differently, and we found out we could. For instance, this Zoom meeting, who would have ever thought, but especially back in 1993, that we could have a Zoom meeting where we could see everybody and participate in such an opportunity as this. So here's hoping that your upcoming year's president will run just a little bit smoother than this last half of my presidential year. But let me say thank you for you stepping up to the plate to lead your club, because it'll be a wonderful experience. You'll meet many great people. In your community, you represent more than the name and distinguish the destination or the distinction that's on your Rotary badge. You'll now be recognized as one of the great community leaders in your area, because Rotary is such a respected organization around the world. But you're already a leader in your chosen profession, or you would not have been invited to be a Rotarian, because Rotary wants leaders from the community to be in their Rotary clubs. And the ability for you to communicate honestly, clearly, concisely, and tactfully are crucial leadership skills. I'm sure that most of you, though, as incoming presidents, have already started or nearly finished the planning for your Rotary year. You have begun by establishing your goals for your Rotary year. And during your year as Rotary Club president, you'll learn areas in your community where Rotary can make a difference. For instance, having fundraisers for nonprofit organizations, or cleaning up your community parks, or help in organizing events within your community. For instance, Effingham Noon Rotary is helping organize the 4th of July celebration for the people. And we've had 83,000 hits on our Facebook page that say people want to come to our celebration because so many of their celebrations have been canceled. But we talked with the city, and since ours is going to be on the football field at Effingham High School, and there's a lot of parking area around that, we're going ahead and have it. Hopefully. We sent out over 400 letters yesterday inviting people to donate and participate. So we're doing a good, we're hoping that's going to be a wonderful event. Your club's committees plan, promote, and implement activities and projects to meet your club's annual and long-term goals. As president, you work with the committees to achieve these goals. You will need to try and motivate your members, and a lot of times that's kind of hard to do, especially if you're in a club like mine, and I love every one of my Rotarians, but we're getting up there in years, and so a lot of the Rotary members just need that extra little motivation, and they need to know that they are needed, in not only in the club, but in the community. They're still great people within that community, and they just need that cheerleader to make them realize that. There's so many opportunities out there. And once your committee has accomplished one of its goals, make sure you recognize that accomplishment. I've been giving out, it's an award like this, I hope you can see that, because we have members in our club, and I'm sure many of you have members in your club that go above and beyond just what they do for their job. They're in the community. We have members who announce all the basketball games, all the football games, and they record all of those plays and everything. And they need to be recognized for that. So it's all about, I think, recognizing your fellow Rotary members on jobs well done. Everybody likes a pat on the back. They like to know that they're appreciated. And to me, that word is one of the best words that can ever be used by a Rotary president. And that's the word, I appreciate what you have done. And everybody in your club does something that promotes that greatness in your community. Every club will have a different committees. So each club will function just a little bit differently, and that's just fine. We're all different people, and so are our clubs. There are several training events convened by the district governor or the district governor-elect, such as district team training, PETS, which we're a part of now, district assembly, Rotary Leadership Institute, and you're encouraged as a president of your local club to take part in these great activities. But let me get back to running the meeting. It's your responsibility to plan and run engaging meetings. Some of the best meetings in my club, I have found that let the people within your club talk about themselves and their professions. Those meetings are what I call aha meetings, because we have an opportunity to really learn about who our members are. And to me, that's so exciting. It's not just about gathering an hour or two to have lunch and talk, but it's about really getting to know your members well. Club assemblies are also an opportunity for members to exchange and share information. Another great opportunity for members is the district governor club visit. This is a way to learn about different things in our district. It's a great opportunity for that person who has taken on that challenge to be district governor. And I'm sure that's a huge challenge. But they become a person to us when we get to visit with them at our club meeting. And I think that's so very, very important. As president, you're charged with seeing that your club runs efficiently and effectively. My Rotary has many resources to help you with that. Your district governor is there also to help you if you have questions or problems. And I mentioned My Rotary. That's not just my club. My Rotary is a website, and by creating an account on My Rotary, you have access to the latest reports, information, and tools. Your account helps you do Rotary business quickly and ensures that Rotary has accurate records for your club. You can start or join a discussion group on My Rotary. You can take online courses, just to name a few things that are available. And there's so many more things. So in a nutshell, your district officers, they want your club to succeed. Lean on them for your support. As your club president, you're part of your Rotary story. You have the opportunity to build relationships with your club members and with your community. You can help with them connecting their expertise with things that go on in your community. Through your year as Rotary president, remember, Rotary unites leadership, Rotary exchanges ideas, Rotary takes action. Through Rotary, we build lifelong relationships. We honor our communities, and we apply our leadership to address social issues in our communities. And as president, we promote Rotary Foundation and the work they do not only at home, but abroad. It's a magnificent foundation, and our clubs need to be very responsive to their needs. We are Rotary. So congratulations on becoming a Rotary president. Another thought I have is about communications. Communication involves more than just listening to each other. It involves responding appropriately. It includes sharing information, asking questions, and soliciting new ideas. John Maxwell once said, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Irrespective of how you define a leader, you can be a difference maker in your club, a difference between success and failure. In planning your year, speak to each of your members and let them know you're interested in making this a great year, but you're going to need their help to help you accomplish that. Each of your members have skills and values to offer your club. Ask them which committee they would like to serve on. Let them plan events that match up with their skill level, but be there to encourage them and give them support when needed. As club president, you're there to give guidance, but give your committees the space to plan their own events and applaud them when it's been completed. Giving thanks will actually make you a better leader. Gratitude can lead each member to higher self-esteem. So appreciation and gratitude really go a long way in connecting with your Rotary members. Everybody likes to be recognized for a job well done. While planning this presentation, I ran across an article on leadership qualities, and I would like to share those with you at this time. First of all is honesty and integrity. The importance of integrity should be obvious. Our 34th President of the United States, Dwight Eisenhower, once said, "The supreme quality of leadership is unquestionably integrity. Without it, no real success is possible." Honesty and integrity are two important ingredients that will make you a great club leader. And I'm sure all of you have those qualities right now, or you wouldn't be the incoming president of your Rotary Club. Leaders succeed when they stick to their values and core beliefs. The second is confidence and respect. To be an effective leader, you should be confident enough in yourself to ensure that others will be supportive of you. If you're unsure of yourself, your members will not show you the respect due you as a leader of your club. Treating members with respect is one of the most important things you can do as your club president. If you show them respect, they'll return it to you, and they will always have your back. Inspire others. Probably one of the most difficult parts of being Rotary president is to persuade members that you have confidence in them to lead their committee that they are a part of. John Quincy Adams put it this way: if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and to become more, you are a true leader. If you are successful in inspiring and energizing your members, you will easily be able, excuse me. You will be easily able to overcome any challenge that will come your way. Commitment and passion. Your members look up to you, and if you want them to give their all, they'll have to see that you're giving your all. When your members get to see you getting your hands dirty or getting right in there to help them, they'll show you respect, and they'll have that same compassion that you have. Excuse me. We talked a little bit earlier about communication skills. However, just a couple more thoughts about that. Until you can clearly communicate your vision for the club and let them know that with their help, you can achieve the goals that you have set forth, well, it'll be very hard to get the results you'd like unless you're a good communicator. A good communicator is a great leader. Words have the power to motivate people to do their best during your year as president. Inspire and energize your members. The next is accountability. Arnold Glasgow once said, a good leader takes a little more than his or her share of the blame and a little less of his share of credit for doing a job. So make sure your members are accountable for what and how they are doing. And if they do well, give them credit and pat on the back. If they struggle, help them realize their mistakes and work together to improve, but always be supportive. Decision making. A good leader will include board members when making a decision that will affect the club. When you do that, you'll not only have the respect of your board, but your members will realize that you didn't make the decision by yourself, and members will be more likely to understand why a decision was made. No one leads a club alone, so reach out to your board all the time. Delegation and empowerment. As president of your club, you cannot do everything, right? It's important as president that you focus on key responsibilities while leaving the rest to your committees. By that I mean empowering your committees to do their work. Don't try to micromanage them. They will see that as you lacking trust in their abilities. Provide them with guidance if they ask for it, and support them when they've completed their task. Always show appreciation for each club member for doing a good job. Great leaders, which I'm sure you are, understand that for people to do their best, they have to have a sense of ownership over their work and believe that they're doing what they're doing is meaningful and appreciated. Creativity and innovation. That's what separates a leader from a follower. Steve Jobs answered that question this way: innovation distinguishes a leader from a follower. In our fast-paced world, you must be creative as well as innovative at the same time. Your committees need to be that way as well. Just because something has always been done a certain way doesn't mean that it can't be done another way with creativity and innovation. So allow your committees that ability. Empathy. As president, you need to develop empathy for your members, understanding the problems that your members have, what's going on in their lives, feeling their pain is an important step sometimes to being an effective leader. Be there for your members. Sometimes they just need someone to talk to about what's going on in their life. Now, I'm not meaning that you should take over their pain or anything like that, but let them share their pain if they need to. I'm not saying carrying their burdens, but you do need to show that you care about each one of your members, and that'll go a long way in the trust that they have with you. It's more than just standing up behind the microphone and leading your club. It's really feeling that every member is important to you. That's so important to them. Resilience. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Well, I'm sure a lot of you have heard that and lived it before. But did you realize that as president and the leader of your club, you'll need to follow that rule a lot of times? As president, you'll need to be resilient and have a positive attitude, irrespective of how difficult a circumstance might be. You will find that a great leader calls on their troops, board members, to help with a situation. The president needs to focus on the solution and not the problem, and you don't need to be a gossip. That hurts your club more than you'll ever know. You're all great leaders right now, or you wouldn't be the incoming president of your club. That's very important. Emotional intelligence is also important. Emotional intelligence comes into play when you're able to connect with members emotionally. You care about the feelings of others. You can laugh with them, cry with them, be willing to lend them a shoulder, but you'll be surprised, again, how that creates the bond. And they will have your back when it's necessary. Humility. Pride makes us artificial, but humility makes us real. As president of your club, you should feel very proud that you've been chosen to lead your club. However, don't let that pride get in the way of humility. Focus on your members, not on self-promotion. Lead by example. Demonstrate the behavior that you want your club members to follow. Transparency is another thing that's very important in leading your club. One of the best ways to win trust and respect of your club members is by being transparent. Instead of hiding information from them, share it openly. Good or bad information should be shared. Vision and purpose. As president, have a vision for how you want your club to be. Whether it's in fundraising or community service, share your vision with your members. These opportunities give your members purpose in their lives. They feel like they're giving back to their community. They're being a part of something that's greater than they are. That is part of the reason that Rotary is such a fantastic organization and is so well respected all over the world. Service above self. That can be shown in so many wonderful ways. We just have to look for them. Reach out to your community and find places where your club can make a difference in the lives of the people within your community and within the world. Personally, working toward your vision with enthusiasm will inspire and encourage your members to do the same. So to recap, during your year as club president, you will appoint committee chairs based on their skills and report that on My Rotary. Prepare your club's leadership team for the new year. Provide continuity of leadership in the community and in your club. Provide clear communication between your club members and the district leaders. Recognize the accomplishments of your club leaders and members. Motivate your members to reach their goals. And listen to all your members and make sure their needs are met. Encourage your leadership team to attend division of district events. Encourage all committee chairs to take some online courses that are not now offered at Rotary. There are just so many opportunities in Rotary. Learn all you can about Rotary and the foundation. Rotary has so many talented people, and your district is just chock full of people who can offer guidance and support to your clubs. People at the district level want your club to succeed. Within the last year, Rotary International and Toastmasters International have begun collaborating with each other, which is a great opportunity for both of these wonderful organizations. Each organization has its own strength. Rotary in promoting service above self, reaching out to help others in the community and around the world, to help make their lives just a little bit better. Toastmasters' strengths are in training in leadership and communication skills. It's awesome that I have been able to be a member of both of these fantastic organizations. So it's my hope that when we're able to meet face to face again, that my committee, when I get a committee, will be able to incorporate all these wonderful skills together and create awesome leaders within our communities. Before I open this up to questions, I would like to encourage all of you incoming presidents to read through this awesome resource. This booklet not only helps in beginning your year as president, but it'll answer just about any question you might have. And I'll refer to this book a lot because in reading this book, you know, you're never too old to learn new things and have new opportunities that come your way. So when you get this book, if you have this book already, I encourage you to read through it. It has magnificent information in it. So with that being said, I'm sure many of you have questions, and we have with us, as you can see, a lot of outstanding leaders within our district. And if I can't answer a question, I'm going to lean on my district leaders to help me with that. But if you're not comfortable with asking a question in this environment and you have a question of me, I would encourage you to give me a call. My telephone number is 217-821-4033, and my email excuse me, is DelNBev, so that's DELNBEV 66 @gmail.com. Don't hesitate to reach out to me at any time. And like I said, if I can't answer a question, I will ask somebody above me to help me out with that. So Mike and Julie, beware. But thank you so much for this morning. And I want to just clarify something. I'm sorry that I have this cough once in a while when I talk a lot, which my husband says is often, but I have a cancer cough. And so ever since I've had chemo and radiation, I've developed this cough. It's not something that anyone else can get from me, but I wanted to explain why I do cough once in a while. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know.
Hey, Bev, if you can put your phone number and email in the chat, that would be awesome.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Bev, you mentioned Rotary Leadership Institute. Do you have any information on how they're going to try to continue RLI this next year?
I do not have any of that information, but when I get it, I'll be glad to pass it on. I'm just starting my year now, so I don't have a lot of the information I need, but as soon as I get it, I'll pass it along to all of you. How's that?
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I will let you know that Cindy Guthrie is really looking into this right now. She's asked me about some things, so they're seriously looking at what is going on for this year and into next year.
There's some, as Julia's mentioned there, we are discussing, whether we would do a virtual type of RLI this year, or if we move to a face-to-face in 2021. So we're still in discussions on that, but there will not be any face-to-face RLI the remainder of this year. We'll discuss whether we'll set up some type of a virtual. I know some of the other districts have done virtual RLI or are planning to do a virtual RLI. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll get that information out, Mike, so we can let everybody know. Good question. Thank you, Mike. Was that your grandson there, Julie?
I have a granddaughter that joined me. Come around here, Madeline. This is my, I just have to introduce you. This is my Madeline Stortzum. Hi.
Madeline.
She is graduating from Effingham High School. They're going to have a sort of a run through this Sunday, but an actual graduation in July. I'm very proud of this young lady. And she's coming to Bloomington to go to school.
Oh.
Even better.
What was that?
Is that ISU or is that Wesleyan?
No, actually, she's going to the Paul Mitchell School of Beauty Culture.
Oh,
Yeah, following Grandma's footsteps.
I'll make sure I see you when you visit, Bev.
Okay, great.
Any other questions for Bev or for Julie? I'll make a comment. Bev, when I was, before I took over the president of the Parish Club, I wish you had done this presentation for me.
Thank you.
I appreciate all the thought and comments that you had, and very passionate around this. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, not necessarily a question, but that was helpful. But so I was already a president last year, but it was good to tune in today just to learn what I missed.
Thank you.
And I know we have some president nominees on, and hopefully you can get something out of this so that will prepare you for next year, not this July, but in a year from now. So just give you a little heads up on some of the things you can be looking for, and also be working with the current, your PE, so that there's some continuity as you're moving through your years. That's one thing that happens is you're a president, or in our case, a district governor for 1 year, and then someone else takes over. I know from the DG line, we're having monthly meetings to discuss things that are going on, so we have a little bit more continuity from 1 year to the next year and so forth going forward. So that's something you as president-elects and president nominees can consider and look at doing as well. Okay. Any other questions for to lead Rotary, or for Bev or Julie? Or does anybody need to take a quick break, or are we just forge right on?
I'm going to step away for just a minute since my granddaughter's here to see what she needs. I'll be right back.
Okay, thanks, Bev. Well, let's go ahead and move right on. If you need to take a break, you're sure welcome to do that. Come right on back. Now we'll move into Grow Rotary, and we'll ask Stacy to come forward here. Stacy Jolly is the immediate past president of the Danville Sunrise Club. She has been in the Rotary since 2016. She will be taking over as district membership chair starting in July. And I'll also mention that she is looking for club membership chairs, and I think she may talk a little bit about that as she goes through her presentation, and a committee as well for membership at the district level. So I'll turn it over to Stacy Jolly.
Everyone. So I know a lot of you have probably heard this before, but hopefully it's new to some newer presidents and even the nominees. Mike's absolutely right. For you nominees, sometimes you don't know if you're going to get thrown into maybe taking over as president a little bit faster than you thought. Our incoming president, who's actually on this call, he has kind of been leading our club for the last couple months, whether he wanted to or not. So you just never know what's going to come up. So in preparing for today, I talked quite a bit with Julie and Mike on what I should present. And a couple years ago, when I was getting ready to take over as president, I went to the district assembly and they showed a lot of DAC-DB and even my Rotary, which was very helpful because going into this, nobody had ever showed that to me. I didn't know that I needed to make goals. I had missed pets that year. I had a prior obligation. So it was really helpful. So I want to concentrate on just a few things this morning on my agenda. I want to talk about your membership goals because, as we all know, without our members, we don't have clubs. And also the importance of your membership chair. I know when I was president, we didn't have one, and I didn't really even know that we needed one. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I also want to show you how to enter the membership chair in the DAC-DB because currently I think we have 44 clubs and there's about 25 membership chairs entered. So there's a lot of clubs missing the membership chairs. And then I'll briefly touch on the Grow Rotary initiative that is the facilitators, which there's probably actually several facilitators on this call. So hopefully I get it right. But the first thing I want to discuss, and Bev actually touched on this, is your goals. And I know that I think Mike and Jane are going to talk about goals extensively in another call. But today we'll talk about the membership goals, because again, without your members, we don't have a club. I believe that I know how you enter your goals is changing. So those of you that have entered goals or know how to do it, that I think is changing July 1. But I think 13 of the 25 goals is going to center around membership this year. So it's important to have your goals. That's how you're going to track your progress. And that's also how your membership chair can help you track your progress. Like Bev talked about, having committees is super important because you can't do it all by yourself. You can try, but it's really hard. So get your committees together and rely on your committee chairs to really kind of take what their responsibility is and run with it. So the first thing with the goals is, my question is, have you even thought about your membership goals for the year? You want to have your goals set before you hit July 1st. You want to hit the ground running. So work on your goals now, just so that when your presidency starts, you can start your goals. So your goals can be anything from, is your club looking to retain and engage current members? Do you want to attract new members? Or even, are you looking to start a Rotaract club or even an e-club? With Zoom, the way it is now, I know that I think there were a couple of e-clubs that were being considered in the district. So, I mean, this is perfect. This is exactly how they can function. But the first thing you want to do is, after you have figured out what your goals are, then you want to get those entered into My Rotary. And I'm actually going to try and show that. I'm going to try to share here in a minute and show you exactly where you would do that. But hopefully you all got the blue district packet that Mike brought. I actually stole this one from our president-elect just for this morning. But in that first page, one of the first things it says to do is to get a My Rotary account. And I know when I took over as president, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that I had to enter goals. I had no clue. So do go to the My Rotary before you do anything else and get that set up. It's super easy. And let me see, I'm gonna try to share my screen. So hopefully you guys can see. Okay. So can everybody see that? Can somebody let me know if you can see that?
Yes.
You can, the My Rotary Dashboard. Okay. So if you go to, it's just my.rotary.org. And if you don't have, if you've not registered, right down here, it's going to say register for an account. I'm not going to go through that, but when you register, of course, it's just going to walk you through it. It's super easy. But once you actually get signed up, sometimes it takes, sometimes it lags a little bit, so be patient with it. But once you get signed in, there's a whole section dedicated to membership. And that's everything to me. When I look at the membership page, that's where you can get your membership goals from. But under the learning and reference, right under learn by topic, there's the membership page. And there's a lot on this page. I mean, it can be a little overwhelming, but it's super helpful. And you just walk through here and take some time and let your membership chair know about this, and whether you guys do this together or you kind of let them take it and run with it. You can assess your club, and if engaging current members and trying to maintain members is your goal, just go through here. And when I took over as president, we actually did a Rotary Club health check. And I'm not going to click on these, but when you click on them, a lot of them will take you to either another screen or kind of a worksheet you can use. They're really helpful. The other thing I know that International, I think, is going to be pushing is this club planning assistant tool. And when you click on that, I actually did this the other day. You just go through this questionnaire, and it's very helpful. It tells you, what you're looking for, what you're doing. Down at the bottom, it will give you some ideas or take you to other pages. But I think it took just a couple minutes. And when you get to the end of it, you can print it out, you can share it, they'll email it to you, I believe. So it's pretty helpful. But if you haven't seen the emails already that have talked about that, you will, because I know that they're kind of trying to help, International's trying to help with that. So just go through here, take some time. It can be a little overwhelming, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. I actually got the idea a couple years ago where we were trying to attract new members. So what we did was we did an activity with the club where everybody gave like 2 or 3 names of people they thought would make good members. And then from there, I actually, as the president, reached out to these people, inviting them to a meeting, just come see what we're about, and told them, so-and-so thought you would be a great fit for our club. So something like that. You can even take a whole meeting and just take time to brainstorm as a club and talk about this. When you're wanting to connect with new members, maybe that's your goal. You want to try and get so many members. Make sure that you have a goal. If you want to get 5 new members this year, write that down, put that in your goal setting, and try to attain it. But this page gives you all sorts of great information. The other thing that I think is important when you're looking to attract new members is you need to do some sort of orientation. And on this page, this Kickstart Your New Member Orientation, the Learning Center is great. And I know Bev talked about that. There's a lot of great webinars you can take. They're pre-recorded, so you can do it on your own time. But it's super helpful and gives a lot of great information. But doing a new member orientation, I think, is huge because a lot of the time clubs have found the members that leave after only about a year of being a member, it's because they weren't properly educated on Rotary and the expectations of your club. Our incoming president actually just put together a new member orientation, and he did the first few meetings, I think a couple weeks ago, and he did them on Zoom, which works perfect because everybody has different schedules. But all the new member orientation did was lay out who we are, what we do, the history. When I became a member, I had no idea that you were technically only supposed to miss 2 meetings a year. I didn't know who Paul Harris was. So this orientation that he's created, it covers all of that. And it also covers our dues and where does our money go? Because, you know, we ask a lot of our members sometimes financially. So we just want to be real transparent in our club and tell them where the money's going so they know. And we also talk about the foundation as well, but it's just super important. If you haven't done an orientation, I know a lot of you probably do, but if you haven't, it's something to think about. And that's absolutely something that you can delegate to your member chair. So just take some time, go through this website sometime. Like I said, it definitely looks overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. And then the other thing too is if you know, one of your goals is maybe to start a satellite club or even a Rotaract club, and the e-clubs, you know, taking advantage of Zoom during this time. For our club, personally, it's been really great. We have 2 members that couldn't come because of, they just couldn't make the in-person meetings. They've actually come back to the Zoom meetings, and one of them is going to rejoin. So we're looking at how do we continue the Zoom meetings even after we can get back together, because it just fits for some people. So once you go through this page, take your time, then, and I'm just going to touch on this real briefly, just so you know where it's at, for those of you that don't know, but back up here in the right-hand corner where it says, what do you want to do? If you scroll down, there's a view or set your club goal tab. When you click that, that's actually what's going to take you to your club goals. And like I said, I know that they're changing some things on July 1st, but I think pretty much the gist of it might be the same. And if I'm wrong, somebody can correct me on that. But over here in your goal center, I mean, when you come to the dashboard, you'll see your membership trends. They show up right away. And this, of course, is just for our club. But when you go in your goal center, for those of you that don't know, make sure you're on your correct year, which is right here. And then you just hit your edit button, and then you know, you can see membership and engagement is the first tab. And right here is your club membership. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but just to give you an example, this first one is how many members does your club want at the end of the year? And, you know, I know with the new one coming out there, it's going to track your progress, I think, a little bit better from year to year. You can see this last year, we had a goal of 25 and we actually have met that. So this is just super helpful. This will help you as you go along this year with your goals, just to track them, have your membership chair look at them. And of course, your other chairs, you can see up here, the tabs. But again, Mike and Jane will talk about this in more detail at some point. So that is pretty much what I have for the goals. They're super important. So make sure that you get them set. And just for an example, I've been talking a lot with Mike this year, and I know that some of his goals are membership, retention, and engagement. possibly starting up some new clubs in areas that have lost clubs, like Shelbyville, maybe a satellite club, and then maybe a Rotaract club. I think he said Effingham, Decatur. So if that's something, if your club is near there and you're interested in, maybe that could be a goal for your club. But to me, one of the most important things after your goals is your membership chair. And like I said, when I took over as president, I had no idea that we needed a membership chair. I didn't even know what they did. We had committees set up, but they didn't function properly, which I think happens a lot in clubs. So last year, our main goal was, if none of our committees worked well, at least our membership did. And we had a great membership chair last year. Unfortunately, she's no longer going to be our membership chair, but we got 8 new members last year and she brought in 4 of them. So she did what we had asked her to do. I kind of view our membership chair as our cheerleader for the club, but they're very important. And I know that a lot of our clubs, like I said earlier, there's, I think, 25 membership chairs entered in the DAC-DB website. And I don't know if that's because maybe the clubs don't know that they need one, or they don't know how to enter them. But I'm more than happy to help if anybody has questions on how to enter it. I'm actually going to share here and show you let me get here. Let's see, here we go. So for those of you, and hopefully you can see my page here again, I think most of you probably know about the DAC-DB. It's the District Club Database. But if any of you don't, this is pretty much where you enter everything. And it's just dacdb.com. This is where you enter new members, where you change officers. There's somebody in your club that knows how to do this, and usually it's a secretary. But, you know, so if you have someone that can help, I mean, definitely leverage them. But and I'm already logged in, but when you go to the main page, it will ask for a login, and hopefully you all have a login. But all you have to do up at the top is go where it says My Club. And there could be other ways to do this, but this is the easiest way I found. So then over here on the left, you'll go to Admin Functions, and then you want to edit club positions. And again, this is where from year to year, you should be entering your officers anyway. So I'm sure that a lot of you know how to do this, but you want to make sure you're on your incoming year. And then I will just, this is our club, of course, I'll just use our incoming membership chair. And you can see here, we've already got Jody all set up. She's our member chair, and she's also one of our club directors, which is a board member. But you'll just go over to add and select the proper year. This is obviously going to default to the next year because I already have her in. And it'll, yeah, you just sometimes have to play with it. So there we go. So you enter the correct year, of course, and then go over here and hit add. And then of course you can see everything your club could have, but then just do your membership chair. I'm not going to add her because she's already in there, but once you have your membership chair entered in there, you would hit add up here in the right hand corner. And then always make sure that once you've added her, you come up to the right hand corner of this main page and hit update, because sometimes if you don't, it doesn't update, is what we've found. But I mean, that's pretty simple, but it is important because that's how we communicate with your member chairs. I do plan on reaching out to your member chairs very soon. There we go. And if you don't have one listed, I'll probably just reach out to you and work with you guys on how to get the membership chair in there. But I mean, that's, hopefully most of you know how to do that. But for those of you that don't, hopefully that was helpful. But the member chairs are just super important. But the last thing I want to talk about real briefly is growing Rotary and the facilitators that are available to your clubs. And I'm gonna read this because the facilitator it's still pretty new to me. So let me look here. All right, so within the district, we have trained facilitators, and the role is to help you and your club members grow by focusing on attraction and engagement. They can come into your club, spend a couple hours with you and your membership team, and create an action plan for attracting new members or for engaging existing members, whichever your goal is for your club. They will help you create this plan, help you put it in motion, and then check in with you along the way to see how things are going and how they can help you follow up with this plan. If this is something that you think that your club could benefit from, you can let us know. And there's several facilitators in the district, and then we would just assign one to your club, and they would help you along the way with whatever you're looking to do. And then one last thing, and I didn't really touch on because I know Julie is going to be the new PR chair, and she'll probably talk about this a lot, but your membership chairs, there are places in my Rotary where you can do branding, like brochures, and you can customize them to your club. So that's something that maybe try and utilize that. Our club has a brochure and we just pass it out, whether we're at, I guess what you could call a trade show, or if we have a new member, we just put it in the packet for them. But August is membership month, and we would like to have all the clubs plan some sort of event to attract new members, whether it's a social hour or just a gathering to have coffee or even a wine tasting, whatever works for your club. But try to plan something that will just reach out to members that maybe, or potential members that maybe are interested, as a way to attract the new members. But there will be more information coming on that, but I did want to touch on that briefly. And lastly, feel free to reach out to me. Inside your membership packet, there is, in the back, there's some info about membership, Grow Rotary, and also e-learning that you can do on my Rotary. But I will also put my information in the chat as well, so that you can reach out to me. But I'll plan on sending an email through the DACDB to all of you, just so that we can try and figure out what's going on with your membership chairs, or if you need any help, or even if you want to utilize the facilitators, or even need help with my Rotary. I'm happy to help with any of that. But I think that's pretty much all I have. I know it's a lot thrown at anybody that this is new to, but hopefully it helps. And like I said, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, or you can reach out to me later.
Any questions for Stacy?
Stacy, thank you. You did a wonderful job.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That information. It's great.
Thanks. It's a lot, I know, but hopefully it's helpful.
I have a question, or also a statement too, I guess. I participated in a training in which Mark Maloney and Holger Knack was a part of it was a big youth conference. And Mark did mention about the membership goals changing for next year. And if they're going to change, if they're not changing until July 1st, should the presidents just wait until July 1st to enter the goals? Because some of the things he was mentioning were not ones that I did as president this year. That wasn't part of our requirement. I just wondered about that, if they're not going to be up until July 1st.
Well, Janet, I can also say that the Presidential Citation Award has also changed for this year. Instead of the 5 goals in those areas, you need only 3. So I did send that out, I believe, to all the club presidents. But that's also, maybe it was even in the newsletter. But that has changed the citation. And I think next year, Mike also has mentioned that it's a little different format next year.
Well, it sounds like the membership goals are even higher than what they were this year, and they were pretty high this year.
Oh, really higher than this? Oh, interesting.
Like how many people are participating in a service project, in your service projects? I mean, it's like really broad, very broad. So.
Well, Janet, I guess I'm not aware of some of those changes that you mentioned. I did not participate in that session that weekend that you did. I know when you go, I thought when you go to the My Rotary Club Central and go to the goal setting and click on the 2020-2021 year, that the goals are already, the goals are in there, or the objectives are already in there. And then you can go in and update them for your clubs. And the other difference this year, next year, 2020-2021, is that you choose 13 of the 25 goals that are in the system, and you pick whatever 13 you want or more. And those 13 goals are what's used for the Rotary Citation, which is the old presidential citation, but they're changing the Rotary Citation for next year. And so you're compared to those 13 goals that you choose, or more. You can choose more than 13. But I believe that all that information is currently in there for next year, 2020-2021. I think Stacy had also mentioned that Jane and I will be doing goal setting on June the 13th. We've got a couple hour and a half or so, 2 hours set aside where we can work through the goals with all the PEs and anybody else who wants to attend on June the 13th, that Saturday morning. So we'll have that time to do that, and I'll make sure that before June 13th, we make sure we have all that information, so for the goals. Go ahead, Jane.
I have just a question, and if folks want a thumbs up or thumbs down or put comments in the chat or just verbally, say it. It seems to me this changed the COVID-19 structure that's been imposed upon us. It seems like a really big opportunity to get some of that club flexibility and shake out some of the traditions that maybe clubs may or may not want to shake out and bridge out of. And I'm excited about it, that there's opportunities for that. I don't know how others feel, so I'm just kind of throwing that out there.
We've been really impressed at Champaign Rotary, I guess.
Janet, you're on mute.
Oops, there we go. We've been really impressed with Champaign Rotary, that how our members have embraced the Zoom meeting, and we've had typically 70 to 90 people show up every week, and people that are in their 80s are joining us, and people are joining us from all over the country, Minnesota and Florida and Arizona. So that's been really good. And like Stacy's club, we are also thinking we'll continue to Zoom even when we go to in-person meetings, so that we can bring more people in. But it has worked well for a lot of people.
From the Paris Club standpoint, we have been doing Zoom meetings, We normally would meet on every Monday, but through the Zoom, we've been meeting every other Monday, just basically twice a month instead of 4 times a month. But it has worked out well. We have not had any speakers. It's been mostly the club members talking about what's going on and setting some direction for the club. As Janet had mentioned, we actually have a 93-year-old gentleman that is participating through participating through the Zoom. He doesn't have email or computer or anything like that. In fact, I think he may still have a flip phone. I don't think he's got a smartphone, but he calls in. And just the fact that he calls in and we can hear from him and he hears from us, it's that connection that really helps all of us to be able to do that. So yeah, I think there probably are some opportunities in the future to have hybrid type meetings. Stacy had kind of mentioned that as well. Maybe Zoom meetings, maybe face-to-face meetings, you know, as we move forward. So I might also mention, Jane's got it in the chat there, that if you need any help with DAC-DB or even my Rotary, Jane is our district communication officer. So she has a very in-depth knowledge of DAC-DB. And we'll be working with that again on June the 13th when we work with the My Rotary and the goal setting. We'll also be looking at some of the DAC-DB as well. So any questions for or comments for Jane, or any questions for Stacy?
I have a question for Jane. Jane, when you send out emails, would it be possible when you send out group emails to let us know who the emails were directed to? I mean, if you've just sent it out to the presidents and the president-elects, or if you send it out to the whole district. A couple of clubs that I work with like to forward those, but we don't want to forward it if they've already received it. So that's just a suggestion if you get a chance to do that.
I appreciate that very much. I've actually been trying to do that. I'm sure it is not a 100% habit yet, but either at the very top of a P-mail or at the very bottom of a P-mail, I will asterisk this P-mail was sent to presidents or assistant governors or something like that. But I do know I'm not doing it 100% of the time. I just trying to gain the habit. It's a very good idea. Thanks, Mike.
Yes, Mike, I'll try to make sure I do the same, because I'm not doing that as a habit yet either. So thank you.
Good point, Mike. Also, Jane mentioned P-mail. For those who may not be familiar with DAC-DB, P-mail is is that called personal mail or what? Personal mail? P-mail is the term that DAC-DB uses for their email service to individuals that are listed in DAC-DB. So just as a point there. We tend to use a lot of abbreviations and so forth. I'm sorry, Heather, I walked all over you there.
No, you didn't. I might mention that sometimes when emails go out, I don't think they go through to certain places. So if you work at particularly a financial institution, sometimes we're blocked. And so if that's the case, I might suggest that in DAC-DB, you put in a personal email so that we know that you're getting the information.
That's a good point, Heather. Thank you for mentioning that, because a lot of, under the new securities in, like say, financial institutions and so forth, some of that emails are blocked because they appear to be spam. And so, yeah, good point to do, make sure we have appropriate, because that's primarily the tool that we use to communicate to all of the officers in the clubs and through the district and so forth. And if we can't communicate, it makes it more difficult to manage. So I had another point I was going to mention. I don't remember what it was now. Short-term memory issue.
I have two questions.
Okay.
So one, what is the hierarchy in goals? Because there's RI goals, district goals, and then club goals. So what is the hierarchy? Like what comes first?
Well, my intent was to take some of the RI goals, incorporate them into the district goals, and then really it all comes down to what the club goals. So Liz, you can look at my district goals, and you would have got a copy of those in that packet of information that was sent out to all the PEs. And if there's any of those goals that make sense for your club, take those goals and incorporate them into your own goals. So really it's all about the club. It's, that's what we're here for, is to support and help the club. So what makes sense for you is probably the best thing to do.
Okay. And then, so for the leadership and development, so like for my new officers in my club, if they need additional training, do I refer them to Bev, or is that what she's for? I just want to make sure I understand what everyone's role is. Like, is that what Bev's for, is to help my officers and my chairs do the best that they can in their position, or is she not that?
Well, I'll let Bev answer that one, but I would go with yes. I would talk to Bev. You're muted, Bev. There
Okay, I'm sorry. Just a minute. Let me find it. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I think refer them to me, and if I would need to come up and meet with your officers or anybody, I could do that. Not knowing what every club's officers need, if you have specific questions of me, I'd be glad to answer them. Glad to help you in any way, but I would just need to know what you want from me, or how you want me to train, or whatever you want. I would try to accomplish that.
Okay, cool.
Liz, I would recommend Rotary Leadership Institute, to have them attend that. And then also, once you get into the My Rotary, to look at all the courses that are available.
Yeah.
And
I
then-
mean, beyond that, because those courses to me just don't seem relevant for right now. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's why if there's someone that they could just, text or email real quick because they're stuck on something or they need a different perspective. I mean, if there's like that resource, and then you have a committee who, you could pass that on to. That's why I was asking. But also too, since so for training, but for membership, so like my membership chair, does she go directly to Stacy, or do I send her to Bev and then Bev sends her to whoever?
I think either way would be fine. If it involves Stacy and I, we could collaborate, probably come up with a better solution maybe on membership. But I am open, to working with Stacy on membership. I'm open to coming to a club to help them. But I just need to know what your needs are so that I can better be prepared for you. Okay?
Okay.
I think I posted my phone number and my email. And so just reach out to me.
Okay.
Another thing, Liz, that I think Stacy just highlighted that could be extrapolated to other positions is that if you have club leaders that are doing a specific role, other clubs have similar leaders. and they can create their own cohort. So I, as district secretary, I've been trying to get all the clubs to have secretaries and properly added, so that at one point I'm going to have a, you know, like a committee of secretaries, and hopefully we can help each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I think Stacy's talking about with membership chairs. If she can get all her membership club, you know, to have membership chairs, then they've all got people, and they can exchange ideas and assist in that. And so that's the beauty of setting up your leadership in DAC-DB, is knowing who else in other clubs you could contact for ideas and support.
Cool. Thank you. That's it.
Well, I think an important thing to know is that, you know, each club, we have leadership goals and those kinds of things through the district, through Rotary International, but clubs are individual. And so probably each club has a different need, but if you just reach out, you know, I'm sure Stacy or myself, I guess I'm speaking for Stacy, but we're here to help you. We're here to see if we can get things, you know, working for you. So just reach out to us and let us know what you need, and we'll do our best, I think, to see that those needs are met.
Yeah, and like Jane was saying, we have, you know, membership chairs, but and secretaries, we, you know, group with working with Jane. But treasurers be the same thing. They could work with Kevin Kibler, and he's got the overall district view of the budgeting and expenses and so forth. Well, he could help the treasurers in the clubs as well if they have questions. And then foundation chairs in the clubs, they could work with the foundation committee, which we're going to talk about that next week. But Larry Howell and Kevin Yantz, and through global grants and local grants would be Ray and so forth. So those individuals could help their counterparts within the club. So as Bev was saying, if you have somebody, just make sure they reach out to, you know, their counterpart at the district, or, you know, if they don't know who that is, they can get a hold of, you know, who they do know at the district, and they can get them, you know, to the right person as well. So
I just think it's very important for people to know that the district people want everybody, we want everybody to succeed. But if we don't know there's something that you need, we can't really help you with it until we know. So reach out to us. That's what we're here for, is to make sure you succeed.
And I just saw a note in the chat from Janet. We have assistant governors as well that have clubs assigned to them throughout the district, and then those assistant governors can help the presidents get what they, you know, get in contact with the people that they need to talk to and get that support that they need. They hopefully, the president-elects, hopefully you guys know who your assistant governor is. I know we've got a couple areas where we're still working on them, but that's another resource that we have that you can talk to. Thanks, Janet. Appreciate that. And she is one of our assistant governors, by the way. So, are there any other questions or comments? It's almost 11 o'clock. I think we did pretty good today. Bev, you and Stacy, you're both rock stars. That's all I got to say. You did an outstanding job. A lot of great information passed along. Again, the presidents, president-elects, president nominees, if you have any questions in these two areas, you now know who to talk to. One thing, I'll kind of wrap this up here. A couple of things. Next week, Saturday, June the 6th, we'll have a session on, I think it's the same time, isn't it, Jane? 9:30. we'll have a session on foundation, and we have Mike Nobiliski, who will be presenting the information on the foundation. And then our own Julie Dobsky will be doing a presentation on public image. And those will be the two that we'll be doing next week on June the 6th, same time, same place. And you can register for that on DACDB if you haven't already. And then on the June the 13th, I think it's again the same time, right, Jane? At 9:30?
That one starts at 10 o'clock.
Oh, 10 o'clock, okay.
Only one, it's really only one topic.
Yeah, we have just the one topic that we'll be working through the goal setting. Again, all 5 of these sessions were what we were intending to do at Land Lincoln Pets and Effingham. So we'll work on goal setting on June the 13th. So come with your goals and we'll get those put into my Rotary Club Central. And let's see, what else have I got? Thought I'd run through a few calendar events. We have a virtual installation on June the 28th. We have our virtual happy hour with the PEs and the DG line on June the 21st, and I'll be sending out a link for that happy hour. Don't forget about the Rotary International Virtual Convention starting June 20th through the 26th. And in October, Janet Ellis Nelson and I we are working on a virtual district conference. See how that goes. We're trying to figure that out, but we'll plan on doing that. So a few dates coming up here in the next month or so. Any other questions or comments? Oh, I see Janet, you're not going to be available next Saturday. We'll have these sessions recorded as it is being recorded today, and we'll put it out on the district website, District 6490 website. So you can pick it up there, Janet, and view it at your leisure there.
I'll be sure to post on Facebook and make a request that Liz put it in the newsletter when those are available. It'll be a link on the website that'll take us to our District 6490 YouTube channel.
Okay, great. I guess with that, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for the participation at today's training session. Hopefully we'll be able to see you next week for the presentation on foundation and public image. Special thanks to Jane for setting this up for us today and running the back room of our Zoom meeting. And especially a special thank you to our rock stars, Bev and Stacy. You guys did a great job. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And my last thought is Rotary connects the world to open opportunities to make miracles happen in yourself, in your community, and in the world. Again, I'd like to thank you all for your participation today, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, we didn't do too bad today.
That was, what a nice group of people. That's awesome, isn't it? I think we've got some really great leaders here. It's gonna be good.
Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and end the meeting.
In the meeting, does the recording, it automatically ends when you,
It does. When I hit end,
it
will stop, and then it'll send me a little link to it, and I'll have to edit it down because I started the recording about 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
So it would just be going. So I'll pull it all together.
All right.
Yeah. Nice.
Sounds good.
Stacy did a great job too.
Yeah, Stacy did a great job. Bev did a great job. Again, I wish I'd had you give me a presentation before I took over president here back in 15, 16 or whatever. So
That was good.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
I think
Hey, well, everybody go out and enjoy the sunshine, huh?
I got to go mow my grass. I got about
Yeah.
3 or 4 acres. You saw how much acreage I've got to mow, so I got to go mow grass this afternoon.
You do have just a tad.
All right. Take care. Thank you very much, Jane.
All right. Thank you guys very much. Talk to you this week sometime.
I'm sure we will.
Okay. Bye. I'm hitting end here.
All right.